My name is Endavar, and this is Surviving with Mekanism. Well, last time, amongst other things, one of the things we got set up was this lithium production. So we got the thermal evaporation plant making brine, that gets pumped into the second one, and that is making liquid lithium. And then through this small process here, we made the lithium dust, and that's what allowed us to craft the stuff we need for the induction matrix, and this is where we're storing all of our power at the minute. Now, this is the smallest one, but it's alright, it's holding 6.4 GFE, so that's going to do me for a while, isn't it? So the plan for today is to get into the next steps and use the brine that we've got stocked up at this side, and we're going to try and get into making some fissile fuel. I don't know if I'm going to get all the way through it, because there are a lot of steps to it. It's quite an advanced thing, and I honestly don't know if I've got the room for it in the room that I've dug out. So there is a few steps to it, so let's just have a quick look at it. And starting at the end, we have fissile fuel, which we get from uranium hexafluoride in an isotonic centrifuge. This itself, pretty easy to craft, but then this stuff gets a bit crazy. So in a chemical infuser, we want uranium oxide and hydrofluoric acid. The uranium oxide is the easy bit, so we're going to ignore that for now, and we're going to work our way up to hydrofluoric acid, or maybe just sulfuric acid actually. Or this bit's fairly easy. So the sulfuric acid is probably the most complicated bit we need to do, and what we do with this is take water vapor, which is easy, and sulfur trioxide. So the water vapor, we just need a rotary condensator with water, and that's one side of this thing done. The other side is sulfur trioxide, and this again is a chemical infuser. So the easy bit, oxygen, we just get that from the electrolysis separator as always, and then the other side is sulfur dioxide. So with this, we need sulfur dust. Now this, if you're playing in a bigger mod pack, this would probably be a lot easier than the process I'm going to show you today. So to get this, there's often other ways of doing it. In the bigger mod packs, like especially if it's like a skyblock pack, you can normally sieve for sulfur. So the whole bit I'm going to show you now, you probably won't need to do if you're playing a bigger pack, but if you're playing along with me, hopefully I'll show you a decent way of doing it. So we can use coal to get this in a pressurized reaction chamber with water and oxygen, but I just think that's a little bit more complicated, although the way I'm going to do it might be a bit more resource intense. So what I'm going to do is use gunpowder, but I don't have a creeper or a witch farm. So how are we going to get gunpowder? Well, we can put flint in a crusher and that'll turn it into gunpowder, and we're going to need loads of this. So that means to get flint, we're going to need to put gravel in an enrichment chamber, and to do that we're going to put cobble into a crusher, and that will give us the gravel. So basically this whole thing starts with cobble, and that is why if we have a look in here, we have the cobble coming in automatically. So I've set up another digital miner in the Badlands, and I'm just mining out the biggest range it can, and then once it's done I'm going to mine a load more. I might actually need to get a second one set up because this is not really that quick. So anyway, what we've got up here is the brine, and the reason we need the brine, if we have a look, is in an electrolysis separator we get sodium and chlorine, and with chlorine we can make hydrogen chloride, and with the hydrogen chloride, this is how we turn the gunpowder into sulfur dust. So there are a few processes we need to do just to get the sulfur. So let's start at this side. So what I was thinking of doing was doing the cobblestone starting here. We can turn that into the gunpowder, and then actually no, because then we're going to need the brine at this side out in. So layout wise, this might be a little bit of a mess, but you know, pipes look cool, don't they? So let's get started. So first things first, we're going to need a crusher. Now I don't know if I should have a barrel first. Yeah, so let's just do the absolute basic versions, and then we can upgrade these if we need to. So we'll have a crusher, second one there, and can I go below here, or is this the cactus farm? Don't know if that's good. No, actually I can do. That's all right. So we'll dig this out, and I'm going to put a power cable below here, I think. Yeah, because this doesn't go into the cactus farm. That's all right. It is only one block above it though, so we're just all right. So if we just take the universal cable, we can have that running along here, and that'll power all of these things. We can then take a barrel and put that there, and if we take out this cable here, we can then, I was going to say we could take a quantum entangle porter, but I'm out of refined obsidian as well. That's not great, is it? So do I have any refined obsidian? Yes I do, so I can put that into my osmium compressor. Go in there, and then if we take another quantum entangle porter, I'm using so many of these things now, if we put that on main power, and then we want energy output to the right and eject on, so that is now powered. I was going to use this for items as well to send stuff into the barrel, but I won't do that for now. So what we're going to, that's not going to work, is it? Because I need a pipe, because yeah, all right, the Mekanism machines can push directly to inventories to the side of them, but it can't pull from them. You need to use a pipe to do that. I could just use an exporter, couldn't I? Pull that back down, take a logistical transporter, and it's already messy, but let's put that on top, and then with configurator, set that to extract, and we want item import on the top, so we'll put that in there, that'll go into there, and very slowly turn that into gravel. So yeah, we're going to need upgrades, so let's get speed upgrade and energy. Right, so we now have gravel. So with that, I'm going to turn that into flint by using an enrichment chamber. So let's put that there, and then output this to the right. That's going to do its thing. And then with that, again, we need to use a crusher to turn that into gunpowder. Okay, so let's have that. You go there, and then that can output to the right as well. And that'll do the gunpowder. So we're definitely going to need some more speed upgrades, are we? Right, so let's do all of those. And we might as well start putting some cobble in, because we're going to get through so much of this stuff. So I've got a bit of a backlog. That'll be good. So you go in there, and then might as well just keep it going. So let's have you put that on there, and then item stack, we'll put that as cobblestone, and set the frequency, and that should actually start doing it now. Yeah, so that's going into there, that's filling up, and then it'll dial back up into here, and we can turn all these into factories as well, which we're definitely going to do. And then with the gunpowder, this is the bit where it gets a little bit more complicated. We need to put it into a chemical injection chamber, but with hydrogen chloride as well. So not 100% sure where I'm going to do that at the minute. Maybe I should take advantage of importers here, so we can do that at this side. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, isn't it? So I did have one on me, so let's take an importer, and we'll put that on there. Set the frequency to Endavar, and then import without filter is what we want. So with this, we can just eject to the top and say eject on. So that will now start going into there, and we will start getting gunpowder coming into there. Brilliant. So all that cobblestone is just getting exported automatically and turned into gunpowder with these fuel machines here. So that's good. Right, so the next thing we want to do is start producing hydrogen chloride. So the way we do that, as we've just seen, is with chlorine and hydrogen. So first thing to do is chlorine. So that means we need to put the brine, which we've got coming out of that pipe, into an electrolytic separator. So let's grab actually a couple of these, because I think we're going to use a few of them. Oh, I've just used all my osmium, haven't I? So let's grab some more of that, and then we'll have 2 electrolytic separate. I've done 3, but they'll probably get used. And then same thing over here, I'm going to need power as well, so let's just run another cable. And yes, I should have thought about this layout beforehand, but never mind. Do I have any power? I think I've got power over here, haven't I? Let's just cheat a bit and steal some from this. Yeah, let's have that. So the power comes out here. Let's have you there, and down there. That'll do for me. Cover that back up. No. Okay, so we want an electrolytic separator just there. Now that is taking brine and producing sodium, which we can set to dump in excess, because we're not going to use the sodium in the minute. And then with chlorine, that needs to be sent out to the left. So chemicals, output 2 goes to the left, and we don't want anything done with output 1. So the chlorine then goes into the chemical infuser with hydrogen to make hydrogen chloride. So this one is actually pretty simple. So let's get ourselves a chemical injection chamber. Or was it infuser? Can't remember now. Chemical infuser. It's one here. So a couple of basic chemical tanks. That's not a problem. And if we take this, that's the first time I've done that one. Okay. So I'll put that there. That is getting chlorine into there. And we now need to put hydrogen in the other side, which we again know how to do. So let's put that on there. And we need to make sure the chemicals, output 1 is going to the right, and we don't want anything done with output 2. So hydrogen is the output 1 normally, and then output 2 is oxygen, so we don't want that going anywhere. So in fact, let's set that to dump in excess, and all we need to do now is pump water into there, and then we should start getting hydrogen chloride in the middle. So let's just do a pump somehow. How are we going to do that? Can I go there? I probably can't go there, can I? Oh yes, I can. Brilliant. And I probably could have done this whole process at one side, but never mind. Right, so have I got a pump? Yes, I have. So you go there like that, and this in bucket mode, put water there. That is pumping. Then I just need to take my ultimate mechanical pipe, put that on there. And now that has hydrogen and chlorine, and it's producing hydrogen chloride. So this is the thing actually, while we're looking at it, this is the next level of the ore processing. So this will take 3 raw ore and turn it into 8 of the shards, rather than the doubling that we're doing at the minute. So yeah, I could probably use it for that, But what we're going to use it for, we need to put this somehow into another machine with the gunpowder, and that'll give us our sulfur dust that we can use for making the sulfur dioxide, which goes into this, So let's figure out how we're going to do that. Right, so I've had a bit of a think, and I think putting it up directly on the front of here, so this can be pumped directly out, and then we'll put an exporter on the top to send the gunpowder in, and then that can be exported somewhere into the, I think it's called chemical oxidizers, do the next bit. Sulfuric acid is done in the, in the chemical oxidizer. I would turn that into sulfur dust. Now I'm thinking we're probably going to need a few of these, because these can't be upgraded into factories, but we'll just do one for now and see how it goes, and then we can upgrade that a bit later. But we just need to make sure we leave room for it. Normally I like to do that in like a tower, so it doesn't take up any more room, like footprint wise anyway. So anyway, let's not skip ahead and get this bit done. So we need a chemical injection chamber now, and these can be factories as well, but we'll just go with the basic one. So this is a bit of a rabbit hole, this one. So we need enrichment chamber, then a purification chamber, and then the chemical injection chamber. So we'll stick that on there, and now that does have hydrogen chloride on it. So what we can do now is I've just crafted up an exporter. So if we put that there, and then we're going to set this to the frequency, and then in the filter, let's just do item stack. So we'll get some gunpowder, and we've already got 700 in there, so that's not bad. And then if we put new filter, item stack, and put gunpowder in there, and that's going to there. Now this is obviously very slow, so let's put the energy and speed upgrades in there, and I've done that for all of them as well. They've all maxed out with the upgrades, so that is now turning into sulfur dust, which is great. So with this, we need to put this into a chemical oxidizer, or a few of them. So do I import them, or do I just have a pipe going somewhere? Yeah, let's do a pipe. So we'll put them over here, I think. If I can't run a power cable over there though, can I? Let's just go on the back of here. Now probably need to go up with this one. So as I say, we're going to need a few of them. So is this going to be the prettiest setup? No, probably not, but I don't mind. So we'll take our logistical transporter. Oh, no, not you. You go in there. Turn that off. And this one is going to go along here. And then we need a chemical oxidizer for this. So I think this is a bit of a crazy craft. Yeah, it's not going to let me do that because I need to do a personal chest, which I don't know if I've got one. I do have mine, but obviously I don't do that. So tell you what I'm going to do that is I'm going to put this down on the floor just so I don't get that confused. And now, will it let me do that? Yes, there we go. So chemical oxidizer, let's have one of those. We're just going to put this here. So we'll set this to eject to the right and eject on. Now that is doing that. So we'll put the energy upgrades in there and also the speed upgrades. Now the way I've done this, obviously, I can just stack these on top of here and then put this pipe going up to all of them. And then that will turn that into sulfur dioxide. So with that, we just need to pipe that into a chemical infuser with oxygen, which we'll just do another electric separator. We're not going to try and repurpose this machine. Oh, I really wish I'd put this pump somewhere better, because I could have put this thing down here, couldn't I? Or shall I have the power cable going up this side? And then, yeah, that makes more sense, doesn't it? So let's get rid of that. And then we can have this side as the output, and then that can go into the other machine. So let's have some power going this way. And I'm going to do a pipe here rather than going straight into the machine, because we might have a few of them. So we'll do that like that. And then on this side, we want that as an output for gases, I believe. Yeah. So do that to output, and eject is on. We need another chemical infuser. See, it's not the simplest process, this, but this is getting us into the end game with all the crazy overpowered stuff. So I'll put that there, and that's a logistical transporter, so that's not going to work. Pressurized tube, let's have that, stick that there, and now that is full up with sulfur dioxide. So we just need to put oxygen in the other side, and we'll have our sulfur dioxide, and then with another chemical infuser we can turn that into sulfuric acid. So that is like the most difficult bit, really. And then the rest of it, we just need to put fluorite into there. That'll give us hydrofluoric acid, and then we're pretty much there for the final bit. We do need to do the uranium oxide stuff, but that we haven't been through this yet, have we? But we just take yellow cake uranium, which we get from uranium ingots, which we've already got loads of anyway. So that's like a 2 or 3 step process. That not a big deal. So let's get the oxygen going into there. So we can just do that next week out. Did I have another electricity separator? I thought I did. Oh no, yeah, I've got right there. Okay, so let's put you there. Now, I really wish I'd done this better. If I can do this back here somewhere. Let's have a bit of an access bit around the back. Right, so we want water going into there. Go like that, and if I know it's not the greatest, but let's just put that there. Then with that is putting oxygen into there, so we can get rid of that one. And then if we just upgrade this, and same for you, that is now giving us sulfur dioxide, and it's already maxed out. So it does look like everything is keeping up at the minute, but that's because I don't have any of these fully upgraded. But you know what, we'll just see how it goes. We'll go right to the end of the process, and then we can start making it more efficient later on. So for the sulfur dioxide, we can take that and put it into a chemical infuser to get sulfuric acid, and the only thing we need is water vapor. So that is quite a big step to get that done, so we might as well just do it. So we need another chemical infuser. So let's grab another chemical tank. Let's have that. Now this is going to be another one where I'm not sure where to put it. So I'll just put it in front again like I did here. And then we just need to send water vapor in as well, don't we? Maybe we send it out a little bit. Let's put it out a little bit like that. Have that go in there. And then we can have... Right, so that's run out now. What's going on there? So we're not producing sulfur fast enough. Alright, can I put a gas upgrade in here? I can. Let's put the chemical upgrade in there. I think I've got some. Yes, that's doing that a little bit faster now. How are we doing for gunpowder? Yeah, so that's pretty much staying stationary, isn't it? But if we turn all these into factories and do the same with this, we're going to produce a lot more, and that's where needing more chemical oxidizers kicks in. So anyway, let's change for chemicals back of this as input 1. So we have the sulfur trioxide in there now. I also want to send water vapor in. So let's break this again, because we might as well just use this water here. That's not moving very well, is it? This is pump. Did I upgrade the pump? No, I did not. Alright, let's get some energy and speed upgrades in there. That's better. Okay, so I know we're all over the place, but let's get a rotary condensator. Another chemical tank, and one of those. Why don't you like that? What's wrong with that? Oh, fluid tank. I'll do that. Right. So let's put you there. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Let's not output from here. Right, so do I have my dropper? Let's grab that. Clear that. Shift right click on there and gets rid of that. So let's do energy upgrade in there. And then I just need to put water into the back and power it. So that's decondensating, and that is now producing water vapor. So if we put a pressurized tube on the front, so just connecting that there, we now should be getting, need to output this, chemicals output to the front. That's water vapor in there. That's not going in, though, is it? We've got input 1 on the back, so that means input 2 there. Oh, I need to power this as well. So now we are producing sulfuric acid finally. So we need to get some speed upgrades in there as well, which I will do in a second. But before we do that, I think this is a good point to have a break, because sulfuric acid is definitely coming in, and this is quite a big step. So do I need to get... Yeah, I need to get some speed upgrades for that as well, which I'll do in a minute. But before we get on with the next bit, let's have a look at what I've been doing between episodes. And the thing I've been doing, if I'm looking here, I've got a few more sea lanterns. And obviously the way I've been doing that is by taking apart the ocean monument. So we're going to go over there and have a look, but it is a bit of a pain getting back and forth. Even though I have another portal set up, what I want to do is actually set up these teleporters. Now these are a really cool block, and it's basically just instant travel wherever you want it to go, as long as they are powered at both ends. So we just need to craft some of these, and they are a bit pricey. We need the teleportation core and 4 steel casings for each one, and we're going to need 2 of these things. So let's grab that. And we also need to use the teleporter frame. Now obviously, yeah, that's a bit of a pain. We do need 9 for each one as well, so it's good that you get the whole thing. So we need to do a bit of refined obsidian and some refined glowstone as well, which I don't think I've done yet. So we just need to put glowstone dust into an osmium compressor. So we should have the glowstone. Not a lot, but let's just grab some of that. We only need 2, don't we? But yeah, I've got a ton in there as well. So let's just get a few of these. So let's have that. And then we'll craft 2 lots of these. So the place I planned on doing this was in here, and I think this still makes sense. We just need to run some power up here somehow, which I should be able to do, I think. Have I got anywhere? Oh, should I have? Yeah, I've got a power cable there. Okay, so if we come through here, yeah, we're good. So let's take the ultimate universal cable. And I don't know where I'm going to do it. Should we just do it here? That'll work. So let's do that up like maybe across. Because what we need to do with this is basically like another portal, just like a 1x2. So we put this in. Let's just do it here. We can move it if we don't like the look of it. So let's put that like that, and then we're going to put these around it. So we just go up 2, 3, and then 3 across top as well. So you need 9 for each one. So that is powered. So we just need to give this a frequency, and these teleporters are usually linked 1 to 1. So what we can do is set this to monument, and then we can have another one somewhere else. So we'll set that as monument. Even though this is the one in the home base, this is the one that goes to the monument. That is powered, but it has no destination at the minute. So what we need to do is set up another portal on the same frequency, and then they'll be linked together, and we can just go between them. So we're going to have to go through the nether one more time, but that's alright, and then we can set the portal up, and we should be good to go. Now I do already have power over there as well, but I will show you that. So let's get over there and have a look. Right, so as you can see, I have been pretty busy, and I've mined out all of this monument, and yeah, I just love doing this. I don't know if I'm actually going to finish it and build a farm, but it's just one of my favourite things to do in Minecraft. Vanilla or modded, removing an ocean monument is just great. So I've also started putting a bit of a framework up outside so we can drop sand in and remove all the water, but as I say, don't know if I'm going to get around to that. So anyway, what I've also done is set up a QIO dashboard, and you don't need to do anything with this fancy to link it across distances like this. You just set it to the same frequency, and as long as you chunk loaded all your other bits, which we have done, we can just access everything from here as we are. I've also set up a quantum entanglement porter, same thing again, just as long as we're chunk loaded, we can use the main power from this. So I've got a charge patch, which I used to charge up my atomic disassembler while I was over here, and then also a smelting factory, which I used to dry out the sponges. So now we're here, we don't really need another portal anymore, but let's just set up a teleporter down here. Or should we do it? Actually, I was going to move all this down, so let's just steal a quantum entanglement porter. I can settle the rest in a minute. So I'll put this down here like that, and then put a power cable coming off there, just make sure that's connected, and then we'll have the teleporter frame, and then just build up this around it just like that, and then we set this to this frequency, and we should be good to go. So that is receiving power. Now if we just step through, we go straight into here. So what's going on there? Oh, I think I need the anchor. Yeah, I need to chunk load the other end, don't I? That's why that's not working. Okay, so do I have an anchor upgrade in here? I think I have. Yes, I've got one there. So I don't need to do this one, I don't think, because I think this should already be loaded. But you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. Or am I? Let's have a look. So with this one, this is what's loading all of my base rather than using anchor upgrades. So I think if I go like that, because we're in this chunk now, I've got across 1 and then down 2. So yeah, that would go the next one as well. So I think that should be alright. So if I just put an anchor upgrade in the other one, we should be good to go. Which is really annoying, so I've got to go back through the nether again. So now, if I put an anchor upgrade in there, when I go through, I should be able to come back to this one. Yes, there we go. So now that says, yeah, it has a destination. So I can just come through here and instantly travel to this thing, which is going to make things so much easier. And just need to make sure they're powered, and they probably use tons of power, don't they? But it holds 2 million FE in the teleporter itself, so that's not bad. I can live with that. So I will move everything else down at some point, but I'm not going to do much just yet. I just want to show you what I've been up to. So now I've done that, I might as well get on with taking this sulfuric acid and processing it into, where is it, the hydrofluoric acid. We just need to get some fluorite for that, which we should have tons of, because you get loads of this stuff from mining. And then with the sulfuric acid and a chemical dissolution chamber, which is quite an expensive machine. We need to, but we can do that. That'll turn it into hydrofluoric acid, and then we're on to the last step of the uranium hexafluoride. So let's just get the hydrofluoric acid set up. So we need a chemical dissolution chamber, so let's get that crafted. So I'll come from all these tanks. I'm really struggling for osmium now. So let's have that. And we need the fluorite as well, don't we? Which I am going to export, so I'll do another exporter as well. Digital storage just makes things so much easier, especially when we can export it directly to somewhere without pipes. So let's take that. Now with this, we can just put it on the front of there, can't we? And that'll go into there. And then I'm just going to put an exporter on the top. I just need to make sure this is powered as well, don't I? I know this is not the prettiest thing in the world. So you go there. And from here, what does that look like? Not great, but never mind. So with that, we need to set this frequency. And then a new filter, item stack, fluorite. Save that. Now that should be doing its thing. Again, we will need upgrades. So we'll have those and those. Oh, I've only got, yeah, I need to do some more osmium, but let's stick you in there with you. And we are now producing hydrofluoric acid. That is great. So that just needs to go into a chemical infuser again. And then we just need to give it uranium oxide and we're done. But you know what? I think that is going to be something for next time, because this is a very long, complicated process and my brain is fried as it is. And I'm sure yours is if you're trying to follow along. So I'll tidy this up a bit because, you know, it's a bit of a mess. I suppose what we could do, just to finish off, let's put the tier upgrades in there so we can turn these into factories and see how that works. So we'll get, let's do a few of these. I don't know how many we need. And then we'll just go up. So I'm not going to go all the way to ultimate because that's going to be a little bit crazy, and then I'd need loads of these to keep up with it. So let's just do a few like this, and I don't know which ones I can do. No, those can't be done anyway, so yeah, we'll turn that to on. Now is this going to struggle? So that's doing alright. Now is this keeping up? No, so this already, even with just the basic one, we're going to need more than one chemical oxides there, so I'm glad I saw that. This should start producing quicker now. You as well, and you. So we should be producing more gunpowder than we need at the minute. That should be going up. It's not though, is it? It's staying pretty much the same. So yeah, I suppose because this is the same level as these, it's going to use it as fast as it's produced. So that's doing its thing. That will need more. I don't think I can upgrade anything else, so can I? So yeah, all of these are just single machines. So, but they probably are going to be backed up most of the time. The only thing we're really going to struggle with is the chemical oxides there. And that's the same if you're doing this in like a skyblock pack where you're sieving for the sulfur. This is always a bottleneck. You always need tons of these things. So I'll get that done between episodes, I think. Maybe upgrade these a little bit more, see how far I can push it. And then next time we can come back and then we can get on with the uranium oxide and turn it into uranium hexafluoride and turning that into the fissile fuel. Bit of a complicated process, but very, very necessary. And this is going to allow us to get into the really high-end stuff from Mekanism. So I'll leave it there and we'll continue this process next time. But if you've enjoyed this episode, please do leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.